As we're moving on from the Eyre Peninsula in the next few days, we thought it'd be a nice chance just to look back at some of the stuff that we've done on the Eyre Peninsula and some of the places we've seen. The Eyre Peninsula stretches from just west of Port Augusta all the way through past Ceduna to the start of the Nullarbor. And we've been able to do that trip and then come back and then double back a couple of times. So it's over 750 k's of coastline. It's about 500 k's if you sort of go inland a bit. So we've done the coast and we've done inland. In our trip on the Eyre, we stayed at 17 different spots, and they're a mix of caravan parks, footy grounds, showgrounds, low-cost town camps, and sort of your bush beach type camps. So we've had a really good mix, and it's worked out on average for those sites at $18.90 a night, which is pretty good, seeing we did have some nights that were quite expensive. The caravan parks, we stayed at 4 caravan parks on our trip, and they were Whyalla Foreshore, the Port Lincoln Caravan Park, Ceduna Foreshore, and Port Kenny. Now, Port Kenny was an interesting one. I'll talk about... Tanya is going to talk at some stage, but at the moment I'm filling a fair bit of space. Port Kenny, we were struggling to find somewhere to stay over Easter. We booked in for 5 nights at Port Kenny over the Easter period, and it was only $35 a night. There's probably reasons it was only $35 a night. And Port Kenny, it's probably fair to say, Port Kenny may have been the only place that we stayed at that we felt we might have stayed too long. Would you agree with that one, Tanya?
Yeah, maybe, but the choice really wasn't there for a change.
Yeah. So it was one of those ones where Easter was coming up, where we left it too late to sort of book anywhere else. So we just ducked in there and sat out through Easter. And Port Kenny will always hold a special place in my heart. Port Lincoln was beautiful. When we got there, we hadn't even set up the caravan and we'd seen dolphins. Tanya caught some squid there.
So that's another reason why I'd go back there.
Yeah.
The squid. It was so yum.
And, we went to... Some of the Port Lincoln seafood was really, really nice too. There's a couple of wholesalers there. We're here for 30 seconds, knowing that we're only booked in for 3 nights, and Tanya's gone, we're going to have to come back here. So, pelicans just flying around.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I already saw a dolphin.
Tanya's already seen a dolphin. So this is fantastic. 3 days is not going to be anywhere near enough.
No.
But we'll do what we can and make a list for when we come back.
Yeah.
I reckon I'd go to... I really like the Ceduna foreshore. We'd heard stories about Ceduna possibly not being as safe as what you would like, but it was felt really safe, really secure. It's a really short walk to the pub. It's a short walk to the jetty, and I just really liked it.
And we didn't feel unsafe in the town at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. You could walk around the town and it was really good.
Yeah, like the caravan park had a very high fence, it had a very high gate, it had good security, but I never felt like it was something we had to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the footy grounds and showgrounds, we stayed at 5. So Waroona Bay, which was at it's a footy ground at Whyalla. Cummins Showground. We stayed at the Streaky Bay Showgrounds, which was near the footy ground. We stayed at Woodner, which was the showgrounds.
Yeah.
And Kimber, which is showgrounds and right next to the footy ground. So they range from costs from $20 at Woodner right through to Kimber's a free camp, and it's a donation camp.
Yeah, donation.
So, of those, I really like the Waroona Bay one at Whyalla. It's $10 a night. They've got really clearly defined sites. It's probably only knock is it's a little bit out of town. But I'd go back to all of those. Streaky Bay was probably the one to me that was a little bit, yeah. But once again, it was fairly cheap, and some of the places around Streaky Bay probably weren't that cheap.
Yeah.
What about you, Tanya? Would you any of those you'd go back to?
Look, I don't have a preference really. If we were driving around and we needed somewhere to stay, I'd be happy to stay at any of them again.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Kimber, it's really getting. It was packed. It was massive. It's a massive space.
There's really 3 spaces that you can have a van.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose because it's sort of like on the central road up the Eyre Peninsula, so it's very much a stopover for people going west or coming from the west. But it's got a really great camp kitchen, a few good toilet blocks. It's really looking out for the travellers. So Kimber was a really good one too. So we stayed at 5 low-cost town camps. I've called them town camps because I suppose they're near towns. We stayed at Cowell, Port Neal, Tumby Bay, Arno Bay, which was behind the pub, and Iron Knob. Now, we'll get rid of the pub one first of all. It's only $10 for 3 nights, so it is really cheap. Was it you pay $20 and get a $10 voucher?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you pay $20, you get a $10 voucher, which you can use at either the pub, the IGA, or the cafe. So if you're staying there for 3 nights and it's cost you $10, you can't get better than that. And Arno Bay is a beautiful spot. I really liked Arno Bay. We caught some fish there too, which is
saw dolphins there.
Saw dolphins, caught some fish, so you can't argue with that. Iron Knob. You read some reviews of Iron Knob, and people sort of are saying that it's probably the scene of a serial killer horror movie.
Yeah, they're not very flattering reviews.
Yeah, and I can understand why some people have come to that conclusion. But we stayed there overnight. It served our purpose of breaking up the trip.
It was only one night, and the space was filled with vans and whatnot, which was surprising.
Yeah.
And virtually everybody left the next day. It's pretty much just a one-nighter. You need somewhere to stop.
Yeah. So that leaves us with Cowell, Port Neal and Tumby Bay. I'll let you go first, Tanya. Which was your favourite?
Wow. It'd have to be probably Tumby Bay.
Tumby Bay is beautiful.
The town was amazing. And the ground is about 2 k's out of town, but it did not bother me at all. I didn't care. Just going into town and around town, we saw just heaps of beautiful scenery and beaches and...
Yeah, so Cowell and Port Neal. Cowell, I really liked Cowell. It's a walk into town. When we first went there, we thought, it's a little bit out of town, but we've done the walk a few times, and the walk is actually quite good. It's taken 13 minutes to walk here. And it's right next to the IGA.
Yeah.
And Port Neal, I thought Port Neal was a beautiful town. The only knock I really have on Port Neal is it didn't have a lot of like supermarkets and stuff like that. So
no, it was literally the pub and the general store.
Yeah.
And that's all.
That was it. So if you're going to go to Port Neal, you might have to take more stock there than maybe you would in other places. But in those 5, Cowell, Port Neal, Tumby Bay and Arno Bay I'd stay at without a hesitation again.
Yeah.
Iron Knob, if we were driving through and we needed a break, I'd happily stop there too. Now, I've called these bush or beach camps, and they're all beach, so we might as well just call them beach camps. So we stayed at 3, and they were the EyrePeninsula.com where you booked online, weren't they, Tanya?
Yes.
And they were Fishery Bay, Tractor Beach and Port Gibbon. Now, I'm going to take Port Gibbon off the list. I'm not going to take it off the list, but we stayed at the Port Gibbon jetty site, thinking there's a jetty, we'll be able to do some fishing. There's no jetty. There was a jetty, but so the name was a little bit misleading. But once again, that was our fault for not doing more research on the site.
Yeah.
It was $15 a night, and look, it was okay.
Well, it still had toilet and shower, which is a bonus.
Oh, it did have a shower too, didn't it? Which is good.
Yeah. And the day that we went for that long walk down the beach, that was beautiful.
It was, yeah, there's some beautiful stuff there. So we've gone right up the end of the beach and we're getting to the point. Not sure how much further we can go.
I wouldn't think it'd be much.
But this is friggin' beautiful. It is so nice. So the two that are left are Fishery Bay and Tractor Beach. I'm confident enough that I'm going to choose the one that Tanya doesn't choose.
You know what? I've got them on a par.
Well, that stuffs me up.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because Fishery Bay was just amazing. Just to go over that little hill and you had that amazing bay. Bloody hell. We've done it again. Found an absolutely gorgeous spot. And we do have some, we got paddle boarders and we got a surfer. Bit cold for me.
Yeah.
And you can drive on the beach if you want.
The only thing with driving on the beach, none of the locals are doing it. Like, well, all right, I'd like it. There's a few there.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, this is where they come to surf. Bloody hell. And short drive to both of the lookouts, and it was, yeah, sensational. I don't know where the stairs were, they're just there. Oh, look at this. Nice. Tractor Beach, again, you just took a walk over the sand dune and you were at the beach.
and drop your tyres to the appropriate level.
And I didn't bring my phone to take pictures. I like them both.
And Tractor Beach, when we stayed there, there was only a couple of other vans that we shared with. When we're at Fishery Bay, we were the only van. So there's a fire pit here in the corner. We're going to get our fire pit out soon. And, well, not soon, but this afternoon. And there's the Gallivant and Basil. Once again, clearly marked and defined campground. What we've learnt about travelling the Eyre Peninsula is nearly every spot on the coast is worth stopping at.
I know, it's crazy.
And there's just so many beautiful little towns you can just pop into and have a look at. A lot of the towns and now are trying to get into a little bit of free camping. The one at Cowell, the Lions Club's done a bit with. Waroona Bay Footy Club's run by the Waroona Bay Football Club. You know, so it is putting money into the community, and when we do stay at low-cost camps, we do try and spend money in the community because...
Oh, we always do.
Yeah. And...
You still got to eat.
Yeah, we did, like I said, we only stayed at 4 caravan parks, but there's so many beautiful caravan parks on the coast. You'd be really, really unlucky to find one that wasn't good.
Yeah.
And that's how...
But then also, you can find so many low-cost places to stay. You don't have to stay in a caravan park at all. Yeah. We only do it just to have a little bit of luxury in between the low cost, just so we can get washing done easily and have a decent shower and all those sorts of things. Because going off grid is fantastic.
Mm.
It's so nice. You don't have the 50 or 60 vans around you, and yeah, you just have your own space and your own peace.
Yeah. So that's it. Overall, 17 sites that we stayed at on the Eyre Peninsula. Most of them have been fantastic. Nearly all of them been fantastic.
Yeah.
They've all been good in their own way. Would go back to all of them.
Pretty much, pretty much.
So I reckon if you're planning to travel the Eyre, plan out how far you want to drive for the day. Don't try and rush through the Eyre Peninsula just to get to the other side.
No, it's very big.
Take your time, slow it down, and enjoy these little places for what they are. They're just beautiful little places.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many places that we went and looked at, but we didn't stay there.
Yeah.
So Coffin Bay and Cleve, and like there's other places that we went to just for a day trip, and because it is so big.
If we had to do the Eyre Peninsula again, I'd be a bit torn by it, because there's so many places I'd love to revisit, but there's so many places that we didn't go to that we'd love to go to for the first time.
Yeah.
So you really can't go wrong on the Eyre Peninsula. Rate it so highly.
Absolutely.
And South Australia is a beautiful state.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to travel here, don't skimp on the time. Give yourself plenty of time, because it's worth every minute. All right. So I suppose we'll leave you now, and don't count the years.
Make the years count.